Okay. Yancy, do you have the like first?
Yeah, she's getting pretty good at that.
Yeah.
We're supposed to have one. Janet Robson is supposed to be coming. I don't know if she's coming or if she's gonna call in. Carol? Carol,
Yes.
do you know if Janet's coming in or if she's gonna call in or?
She did not verify. She just said that she wanted to talk to the board tonight.
Okay, we'll just begin then. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion.
Moved by Tim,
I'll second.
second by Shelley. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. 4-0-1 absent. Consent agenda. Does anyone have anything they want to pull?
Chance. Change order to stand relate. So how much was that, Deb?
What?
The change order? What is about? Chad.
Landscaping.
Yep.
It was for landscaping.
How much?
No.
If I remember correctly.
Not much.
Tim, it's for landscaping and then a very small one for electrical.
Okay. How much, Chad?
How much? 149,355.21.
Thank you.
You bet.
I have a motion to approve the consent agenda submitted. Moved by Shelley,
I'll second.
second by Michelle. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. 4-0. Board policy. EKB, that's the one on
Payroll reduction.
payroll deduction. There was a discrepancy in that one. One said 2 with $10 each year, and the other one said one, with the one $10 annually.
Yep.
Hmm.
I thought if I remember correctly in some of the discussion prior, there was also talk about a waiver for educational fees or something along those lines.
In that one,
Yeah. There was some concern about people that had to pay. You remember that discussion, Chad? Or Carol?
I honestly don't. What discussion was that?
DKB, the payroll deduction one.
Right, no, I'm familiar with the policy. We've got them aligned, but I'm just questioning what Shelley, are you referring to like college fees or what are you referring to? When you say education?
Remember there was like, was it continuing education credits or I can't remember. Is there something that would be payroll deducted for our staff? That you can think of?
Yeah, I mean, we've typically worked with Cinte to do some things like that, if that's what you're asking.
Can't remember when exactly it came up. Does anybody else remember that discussion?
I don't in this, I don't in this.
But that was the concern was, I remember that coming up in discussion somewhat about those educational fees, like disqualifying them for anything else. If they already had that coming out. So I didn't know if that needed to be in there or if that was just like something they could work with you on.
I'm not familiar with that. Anybody else remember that?
I
Discussion
do not
about
recall
educational fees
that
coming out.
conversation either, Shelley.
Payroll deductions?
I just remember when we were talking about the payroll deductions and how we didn't want two, one, I'm trying to remember. What we were talking.
I don't know, maybe, I honestly can't tell you when exactly I remember that from, but I just wasn't sure if that was something that needs to be exempted or if that needs to be mentioned or
It's on
not.
blue line.
We can do some research on that and then come back to that at another time. I mean, table that, mention, I mean, but I don't see it in this.
Well, it's not in there now, in the revised one, but I mean, I'm pretty sure.
You remember we talked about.
I remember discussion on that.
During this conversation, that DKB,
That there was some concern that, like, if they had an educational payroll deduction, would that exempt them from like an emergency one? Because it would take that one. So I just didn't know if that was. Like I said, I'm not familiar with where that would apply, like an educational deduction, but. I just remember,
federal income tax, retirement, state requirements, and social security, Medicare,
just remember.
health and life insurance, deduction, tax annuities, rent, checkoff dues, credit unions, banks, RST finance,
I get what you're saying, but I don't remember it coming up. I don't remember us discussing it.
I remember that somewhere because like that was something that never would have even occurred to me, I guess, otherwise. I wouldn't have brought it up.
It didn't come in any agreement talks.
Maybe it was in negotiations,
Are you familiar with that, Tess? Anything like that?
My discussion.
but
I said, I basically remember something, but I don't remember when or where, and what we determined when we talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not an issue, then I have no problem with it. I just,
I wonder if it was when we were before,
before negotiations.
yeah. we were just talking.
Well, it's not in the revised one. I don't think we should table this again. I mean, what's your,
I mean, that's
What are
why I
your
was
thoughts?
asking, like Chad or Carol, would, like, is that even an issue? If it's not an issue, if it's a non-issue, then that's fine. I just wanted to check.
Carol or Chad?
I'm not aware that it's an issue.
Shelley, it wasn't, I don't remember it being discussed. I mean, Betty and I looked through this agreement together and then we just made sure that the policy itself coincided. You know, if it's something that we need to talk to Betty about, we can sure look at and then bring something back. But I guess I would rather that the board approved them as is, so that we can get personnel actions and calendars out to staff this week, if possible.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like I said, if it's a non-issue or if that's something that can just be handled internally, because it's probably a rare occurrence. So like, it would kind of be the exception to the rule, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, if it's a non-issue, that's fine. And I don't have any problems with approving this as is. I remember that from somewhere.
Not,
I got a question. I just thought about this a lot. And there's a lot of people out there that depend on these payroll deductions to get furniture and clothing. There was always two, as long as it came up to this point, there was always two. And I just have a concern that knocking it down 1 to 1 just going to limit these people to be able to get some improvements in their lives. And that's just one of the things I just thought about. And as far as the wording of the annual $10 fee, it should be changed to just a $10 handling fee or whatever, instead of a annual fee, the way it's posted. I don't know how the rest of you feel about changing it from 2 to 1. That's just how I feel. There's a lot of people out there that depend on them.
employees will be assessed a $10 charge for commencing each payroll deduction each year.
Yeah, it should be just each time, or, each time they do a deduction, I should say. But anyway, that's the concerns I have. I don't know how the rest of you feel.
Any more discussion? Shelley?
I mean, as somebody who actually used payroll deduction in the past, I think with online banking and stuff, you have a lot more options where you can do direct payments. Like I bill pay most of my stuff straight out of my checking account, so. That's always an option too.
Sage, Michelle? Comments?
What are we on?
7-2, yes.
I don't have any comments on
Hearing that, do we have a motion to approve the revision to school board policy DKB salary deductions as submitted?
I'll move.
Moved by Sally. Second,
I'll second it, so we get it to a vote.
second by Tim. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Opposed.
4-0, 1 opposed. Motion passed. 7.3, approve 2021, 2022 ESP agreement.
Motion.
Motion by Tim. Second,
I'll second.
second by Michelle. All in favor?
Yes.
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 5-0. Motion passed. 7.4, approved 2021, 2022 preliminary proposed budget. Do you have anything to speak to that, Chad?
I can just speak quickly to, the process itself. In May here, we're required by the state to do a preliminary budget. Throughout the summer, there'll be changes made. We'll have a public hearing in July, and we will ask the board to approve a final budget by the time we have our second meeting in September. Generically, I'll just speak to it. In general, it's about a little over 6% increase to the funds. I do want to point out, I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm looking at a transfer of $20 million for the Rosebud School. If we can push forward on that project, I'm still optimistic that we will be able to move on that. Other than that, just know that there's a lot of time for input yet. And I can entertain any questions now that you guys have.
Are there any updates on the Rosebud School?
I do not have one right now. I know that Sherry has sent me a map, which I'll give you guys later on tonight, with some new boundaries, and we'll have a discussion there. But we're still working forward to try to get tribal approval in order to be able to lock in a site and move and hire an architect and engineering firm in order to move forward on the project. So.
No question?
No. Have a chance to go over before the final budget approval, so.
Michelle states. Have a motion to approve the budget as submitted,
I'll move.
moved by Michelle,
Second.
second by Shelley. All in favor?
Yes.
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 5-0. Certified teacher opening report. Carol.
Yes, and if you notice, next on the agenda is some new positions that we're requesting due to concerns with next year and the effects from the pandemic. So some of these are not accurate. We have offered to the Rosebud position, Littleburg and Klein and Spring Creek. So those are no longer open. And the high school, if you notice, has a couple of requests for additional staff for next year, anticipating the class size and need for additional staff. So I think we have a total of, when we were mentioning earlier today, 15 with including the new positions.
Were there any requests for any Lakota Studies teachers?
The middle school has had an opening for 2 years. There was an inquiry and that was the conversation, but with the new standards, they're kind of looking at those as helping to do the Lakota language in that respect. So we have one at the middle school, one at the high school. I think that's currently it. So we have an opening at the elementary and an opening at the middle school.
One at each school?
Yes,
And those are teaching positions, correct?
correct.
Still being advertised, right?
Correct.
that one, some discussion. Later.
We will go into executive session for personnel. Again, after this part is finished. Anybody else have any questions regards to new positions? Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Moved by Shelley. Second.
I'll second.
Second by Tim. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Michelle, did you vote?
I said yes.
Excuse me. 5-0. 8-3, recommend to offer a professional contract for family engagement coordinator for the 2021 school year contingent upon completion of drug tests and criminal background.
We didn't get any information on that. I believe that was one of the
Yeah, I did.
Carol,
subjects of discussion.
That was one that we were going to discuss in executive session.
okay.
I'll come out with a recommendation.
Executive session.
She didn't do, it's not on the agenda, but I think there's reports.
Is there a reason why there's no reports on the
The-
agenda?
The report section is there. They just didn't put in the superintendent report. I have one ready if you want to hear that.
Yes, yes, please.
Welcome, everyone. And today is the last day of school for students at Todd County School District. And a huge thank you to our staff, students, families, and communities for the efforts during this very challenging year. I just want to let everyone know that we greatly appreciate the communication, the efforts, and the thoughtfulness and providing the best we could during these very challenging times. It was a very fluid and flexible time, and there were many times where we had to react, and we're used to planning, so everyone's understanding is greatly appreciated. Also, we had graduation a weekend ago. It was very successful for the class of 2021. A thank you to everyone who made it a successful day for our Todd County School District seniors, and congratulations to the class of 2021. The district is working on their return to school for in-person learning, and it will be updated at the district and attendance centers for board review within the next couple of weeks. The last day of the semester was on May 21st. And again, today is the last day for students. So congratulations on completing the 2020-21 school year. And the last day for staff is June 1st. Summer school at the high school is anticipating 111 students and maybe up to 130 because of the timeline here with just the end of the semester. We will have a nurse available during that time. And then you've received in the past Rosebud's plan and the middle school with their project-based learning. In your packets, you have reports from the counselors from the different schools. So if you have any questions on those, I can try to address those. We've had many discussions on social emotional learning and how we will address that in the fall. They're actually doing a training on May 27th to prep for that, and then several other trainings planned during the summer. You have your security report from Kevin Swally. They've done their ALICE instructors training recertification for CPI, which is a crisis prevention interventions, that you have to have specific training to do holds for anyone who is escalating or a danger to themselves or others. Working on different lights, investigating a report on vandalism over at the elementary, and trying to update surveillance policies and with the different principals at the schools for the security, which we review every year. Next, you have the maintenance report, the different things that they have done within the last month. And as you can see, they're busy all over the district. And then you have the report from the Exceptional Ed Office and their ESY, or extended school year services, that they'll be offering. And there's a special thank you to the dorm. They've been instrumental in helping our students. They'd like to thank them. Continued thank you to the district administrators for providing space for services so they can be done safely. And a continued thank you to the bus shop teachers who haven't driven before. We called on lots of individuals to help. So lots of teamwork and connecting there. Next, you have the report from Alan, and I believe Alan's there if you have questions for his report. And then you have Krista's report. I believe she's there as well. And they continue to work on professional development and training for staff here at the end of the year and at the beginning of next year, getting that organized already. And kudos to the hard work on that. And I believe that's it, unless you have questions. Oh, in the very last packet or group of papers you have in your packet is a Lakota course evaluation that Alan provided for you as well.
Carol, I'd also like to thank, before you get out of your report, thank the middle school for all the hard work you did on their graduation. That was really good, what they did for the kids, even though they couldn't do it in a mass group. It was fantastic.
I will relay that message.
Krista, would you like to address your slide?
Yeah, I'll share some highlights. We're very, Al and I have been working really hard to get the presenters for the OSU PD series. We're very excited about it. We've had so many great conversations with a lot of different people. So we're really just about the whole thing. So this is kind of the initial flyer. Sage, I'll leave this with you. I'm printing enough copies. This is the draft flyer for today. I just started this today. But so this is the save the date flyer will go out electronically via the website and other Facebook pages, and it's we'll send it out through, Phyllis will help send it out through all of their communication channels. And then the tribal education will also send it out to people. If you use your QR code, if you don't do it with your phone, you can click the QR code and you can actually pull up the current schedule. So that'll be updated. I'll just update that as we get that current schedule.
Nice.
So we have the highlights for that we've got actually on page 7 in your large, a lot of schedules in here. So questions about those, let me know. But page 7 gives you an overview of the week. We actually, this has already been updated since then. We've got Joshua Dunn and Linda Blackout coming to do 2 days of ethnobotany on August 3rd and 4th. We've got 2 sessions of introduction to Lakota language. They're 2-day sessions. One is the first week and one is the second week. We have Running Horse Livingston coming. We've got Joe Marshall coming for 2 days in a row. We've confirmed for sure Redco is going to do one on food sovereignty and the Lakota Buffalo Project. And Redco is also doing one. We just met with her today on social emotional intelligence training grounded in Lakota culture. They have a curriculum they've developed, and so really just about social emotional intelligence for teachers, but also how to help our students. Talked to President Bordeaux to do one on tribal government. He's still working on figuring out a date. Alan, do you want to update on the other people you can in contact with?
Yeah, so the other ones are Dwayne Holloway, his wife, going to get Lexi Dwayne here for a couple of days. The other one was Nellie Tuloff to do a mock simply. Steve Mayo was another one that we discussed doing something that he hasn't before. Figure it out. We've got a meeting with him this week, I think. Yeah, just reaching out to a lot of educators and a bunch of people that work with in the past. So it's starting to become clear in every meeting we've had with them. It's been really exciting. So, I mean, honestly, I want to attend all of them.
I feel it's really hard.
It's gonna be hard.
I'm looking at it, thinking about taking it though.
Seriously, it's gonna be fabulous.
Yeah, it's gonna be really great. I think it's gonna be awesome. And we're just gonna keep plugging away as the week goes on. Hopefully we'll have this out by November.
Yeah, hoping to have registration forms out soon. But for right now, we're just doing save the dates so that people can at least know, because we don't have a clear schedule yet. So we want to be able to get a pretty good solid schedule before we do registrations. And some of the people have asked to cap things at certain levels.
In regards to the flyer, right on the corner, it says open to all educators in the Todd County region. Does that mean everyone? Okay,
Yep, it's open from one end to the other, winter to,
just a clarification,
yes.
because because we'll be asked.
Yeah, we will give priority to Todd County
Yep.
staff first positions, but we want
Yeah.
anybody and anyone to come who works in educating or,
Mhm.
children. And that includes SU, everybody, so.
Looks awesome.
Good job.
So that's kind of the big highlight. And then the other big development is around fall professional development. This series is for the fall. And the easiest way to look at that is actually for the calendar. And if you go online, if you look on the documents online, you can see that they are in color. A little more of color coded. They're easier to read. So for example, page 3 allows you to see a big picture overview of the August days. So obviously we have this OSU PD, then we have a mentor training on the 11th, new teachers start on the 12th. Then we have August 18th is going to be the OSU All Staff PD conference, where we're going to try to have mini sessions of the same things we had during those 2 weeks. We're going to have mini sessions that staff can choose 2 of those to attend. Then the 19th and the 20th are school choice PD days, and they need time to do all of their orientation, like mandatory reporting, all of those things that they're required to do. So that gives them time to do that. Some of them are choosing to do work around like responsive classroom for K-5. And I've been getting a lot of questions around how are we supporting social emotional learning when students are coming back. And I just want to put a reminder out there that responsive classroom is a program for supporting social emotional learning and providing a really warm and welcoming environment to students. So I added the last 2 pages of the report are just some information from the responsive classroom organization around how responsive classroom supports social emotional learning and trauma-informed schools. I think of it as really being a way to provide trauma responsive classrooms. So we're warm, welcoming, and really not triggering any additional trauma responses from students. So I just added that because I've been getting a lot of questions around that lately in preparation for this coming school year. So then whole staff PD is on the 30th. And the morning will be we're trying to find a speaker to welcome back. We're looking at a few different people, just kind of a rejuvenating, like excited to be back into a more typical school year, hopefully. And then also kind of thinking about some self-care, like how do we make sure teachers are also taking care of themselves. And then the afternoon is around social emotional learning as well. And the counselors are helping plan that section around thinking about adverse childhood experiences, the ACEs, and how we can be proactive in our classrooms to make sure that we're not creating additional traumatic experiences for kids and just things to be on the lookout for. So I explained that, like, we're trying to keep it really positive coming back, like how we're creating joyful classrooms. So we're not trying to start on this very, the very negative space, but really around, we are creating an awareness, but yet creating a joyful kind of environment for when kids come back. So those are, there's the highlights. For the calendar, the detailed calendar schedule is in here. You can take a look. New teachers are getting an orientation to the OSCUs and principles of learning. So that's happening for all of the new teachers, no matter what. That's a required day that they attend. Feel free to reach out anytime if you have a question. You just email me and let me know if you have any questions about the professional development schedule or anything like that.
And if any of us would like to attend, would
Yes, please.
would we be welcome?
Anybody can also present, which I have not, like, so I was like, if you have like I want to do this topic, you just let me know. But yes, you are welcome to attend any of those sessions. Yeah, we're really excited.
For that Friday of the 6th, you just don't have anybody scheduled that day, or?
Not yet. That's
Okay.
probably, yeah, just not yet scheduled. So actually, I think we're trying to get that to be the SEL strand. We also have like all those other topics that were on the kind of the bottom of that calendar. So we've reached out to people around all of those topics. So potentially all of those could get filled. So it's just, that's just what's currently scheduled at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I can take some leave.
Well, I'm gonna keep this so I can keep checking. and
Yes,
see
keep
what we
checking
get.
the schedule.
Yeah.
And it'll be out on the website here soon. Hopefully get all up by the end of the week and have people send on their Facebook pages and things like that.
Nice. Thank you. Maybe
Really good.
Report also reflects that, just, that was actually work out to get Charlotte and Scott there for an all day session. That'll be happening. And I'm gonna be there. The other thing was the class I did, the football language class I did with Rosebud Elementary. That was every Monday. And the data is gonna be happening in the back there. You'll see the survey responses there. And just, it was a really great class overall. They were pretty honest in their surveys, so I highly recommend checking it out. It's got everything on it.
there's a lot of comments.
Yeah. So, and that is something that, I'd like to continue. Like the whole point of it was just to get them comfortable using Love Clip and speaking Love Clip. That was the whole point. And it was pretty successful from what I got. And like I said, the data's all there. Check out. And if you have any questions about any of that, just let me know. Solution keep looking. I know it's like the last, teachers are getting ready to leave for the summer, so we're just concentrating on getting these presenters. Which is what we're doing.
They're big, yes.
Mhm.
Quick question, did you reach out to Kuli, I think? She does a really good presentation on kinship, family structure.
You guys send me that,
Yeah.
can you email us that?
Yeah, if you guys got any suggestions?
Yeah, really, if you have
Seriously.
suggestions, we will reach out to them.
Yeah, please.
Not everybody's gotten back to us, so if you have any ideas for good presenters or sessions, please just let us know. We'll get in touch with them. Yeah, I just emailed, actually, Lydia is on the list for a multiple topic, so I've finally got her contact information, so reach out to her. So we'll know a little bit more to you.
Good job.
Thank you.
You guys did great.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
If you wanna talk about.
Inside.
Should they not head out yet?
Because once they open 9 to 3, they have the kind of, I think they're gonna do their circles.
Before you guys go, we want to plan a work session soon. We've been talking about this, you know, and we'll schedule a date and then we'll get it out to you guys. So,
Okay, sounds great.
it's been so busy. I mean, we wanted to do it for 2 weeks now and we
Alright.
haven't been able to do it. So, but we'll get it out to you guys and
Yeah,
it'll be soon. So,
okay, good, because we've got some conferences coming up, or at least I have
Yeah.
some conferences coming in June, so.
Yeah, it'll be soon.
Okay, great.
Cool.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you.
Oh, do I have a motion for executive session?
Personnel.
Yes. Moved by Shelley. Second. By
Second.
Tim. I wasn't seconding. All in favor?
What time you going?
Yes.
Yes.
6:11,
11.
Yeah.
6:11, 5-0.
He's watching the playoffs.
My team got beat last night.
My team got beat last.
Lakers. I'm a
First
Laker-
game.
I'm a Laker fan,
Game
but I'm
one.
not a LeBron fan, so.
No, I'm not either. We are back to
8-3.
8.3. Offer professional contract for family and community engagement coordinator. Recommend to offer the contract to Lita Brandes for family engagement coordinator for the 2021 school year, contingent upon completion of drug tests and criminal background check. Do I hear a motion?
Almost.
Moved by Shelley. Second by Michelle. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. And make sure she-
5-0.
She looks at the list before she signs it or plan for it. So.
No, sign.
Before we adjourn, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for tonight. And been a long year and I want to thank all the staff. And we're still here.
Yes, I'd like to thank all the staff. Yes. It's a tough year.
We've been trying to have a work night for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay, I was just.
And how's this week look for people?
I'm good.
I'm good all week.
Wednesday, I think, I mean, I have to go to another board meeting at another place on Thursday, so. Wednesday, how's that look, Sage? Yes, like, looks okay.
Yes.
Got a few.
Oh, shoot, is that? What time's her funeral? I'm gonna wait tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Schedule it for Wednesday at 5:30 and then.
You said Carol, agenda items, we'll put that out.
Yep.
Discussion item. Put out the agenda.
Wednesday at 5:30 and then we'll. Thank you, Yancy, for your patience. I will adjourn at 7:28.